Today's video, we're going to talk about the notorious Lebanese drug lord Nouh Zaiter and his connections to Bashar al-Assad, the Syrian regime, and Hezbollah. Without further delay, let's get started. Who is Nouh Zaiter? Zaiter, commonly referred to as the Pablo Escobar of the Middle East, is a Lebanese drug baron, currently a fugitive wanted by Interpol for allegedly being involved in growing and dealing cannabis in Lebanon. Reportedly, Zaiter is wanted for more than 4,000 charges, including drug trafficking, car theft, open fire against security forces, arms trafficking, and kidnapping. He has very strong relations with the Syrian regime, Bashar al-Assad and his family, the 4th Division, and Hezbollah. He's part of a very small circle of Bashar al-Assad allies who traffic illegal drugs with the help of people from the Syrian regime, as well as Hezbollah. Zaiter is considered by many people their key ally due to his vast experience in the cultivation and manufacture of drugs. Zaiter never walks alone. He's always accompanied by his bodyguards. Usually, ordinary people don't have good opinions about him, and they're aware that he is the most wanted drug lord in Lebanon, and they usually blame him for turning Syria into a narco state and a narcotics exporter. In 2014, Nouh Zaiter was wounded in a clash with the Lebanese army, according to the local news, when a bullet grazed his shoulder. Despite everything he did, Zaiter likes to portray himself as a sincere Muslim and a charitable man who cares about the poor. Hezbollah is a Lebanese Shia Islamist political party and militant group that was officially founded in 1985. Since 1992, its leader has been Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah. Jihad Council is the Hezbollah's paramilitary wing, while its political wing is the Loyalty to the Resistance Bloc in the Lebanese parliament. Zaiter is able to manage his organized, complex cross-border operations between Syria and Lebanon thanks to having partners in Syria's drug plants and due to using the Hezbollah-controlled illegal crossings. The Caesar Syria Civil Protection Act of 2019, also known as the Caesar Act, enabled the regime and Hezbollah to avoid sanctions. In addition, Syria's economy has turned into a black economy involving drug trade, human trafficking, and organ trading using prominent figures in the 4th Division and Hezbollah, the Best Brothers. One photo of Lebanese drug baron Nouh Zaiter, Mohammed Zarour of the Syrian regime's 4th Division, and a cousin of the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, Wassim Badi al-Assad, emerged on social networks with the quote, "The Best Brothers." The photo popped up on the Twitter and Facebook accounts of Wassim Badi al-Assad on the 17th of January, and it was taken at Damascus Sheraton. According to many sources, this photo perfectly represents the collaboration of the Syrian regime, Bashar al-Assad's family members, including his brother Maher al-Assad, who is the commander of the 4th Division, and Hezbollah in distributing drugs, mainly Captagon. Captagon is a highly addictive synthetic psychostimulant that serves as an alternative to amphetamine and methamphetamine, usually smuggled to the Gulf states. Zaiter is known for frequently visiting Syria, especially al-Zabadani, Ludan, Latakia, and al-Qadaha. He's also wanted by Lebanon security agencies for his wrongdoings. Obviously, Nouh Zaiter is a friend of a Syrian regime, and some pro-regime media even describe him as an ally worthy of respect. Some Lebanese analysts don't have any excuses for photos like this one and state that this photo is clearly proof that the Syrian regime and Hezbollah have turned the country into a narco state. The Lebanese Institute of Democracy and Human Rights, known as LIFE, Executive Director Nabil al-Halabi, claims that the photo reflects the malicious and dangerous strategy of the regime and Hezbollah. Nouh Zaiter had also taken a photo with Hezbollah members in 2015 in Kalamoun, Syria, and posted it as a profile picture on Twitter, which also proves his strong connections with Hezbollah. How did Nouh Zaiter establish his drug trafficking business? Zaiter is currently considered the top narcotics man in Lebanon, but he hasn't achieved that overnight. He's been active there in cannabis production since 2014, when he partnered with Hezbollah and the 4th Division. According to Southerners for Freedom coordinator Hussein Ataya, the Al-Qusa area in northern rural Homs is suitable for agriculture and is controlled by Hezbollah and the 4th Division. Of course, Zaiter thievishly decided to take advantage of this situation and started using that area as a base for cannabis agriculture and trade. He didn't stop there, as he also decided to build a small workshop for manufacturing Captagon. He was able to do all of this because he is loyal to the Syrian regime and very close to Bashar al-Assad as well. The Syrian regime now uses Captagon production and trafficking as a main source of income, and it relies heavily on Zaiter to generate resources, meaning Zaiter enjoys strong protection. An indispensable part of the equation is, of course, Hezbollah, the main source for Captagon and drug trafficking network, and it has moved its drug manufacturing and agricultural operations to Syria, at least according to Syrian Network for Human Rights manager Fadel Abdulghani. Ghani also stated that the partnership between Zaiter, Hezbollah, and the Syrian regime generates vast profits and is key for all of the operations mentioned. How do countries fight illegal drug trafficking? Some countries in the region are very concerned because of the high crime rates and rising drug trafficking in the region, so they're starting to take some steps to fight these trends. Saudi Arabia, for example, is having some success due to its exceptional efforts when it comes to combating the scourge of illegal drugs. That country started massively apprehending shipments at various seaports and land border crossings. However, despite some shipments being seized, drug trafficking never stops, and that's a sign of efficient collaboration between Hezbollah and the regime, which results in a large distribution and trafficking network. On the other hand, external pressure to crack down on the drug trade is intensifying. As claimed by the Lebanese Center for Research and Consulting, Director Hassan Kut, U.S. sanctions on Iran managed to weaken Iran's ability to financially support its proxies in the region. That's a light at the end of the tunnel because Hezbollah and the Syrian regime are completely dependent on Iranian financial support. At the same time, the U.S. security forces have been very successful in fighting money laundering, drug trade, and other crimes done by Hezbollah in Latin America and Africa, which has also immensely affected Hezbollah's financial resources. The protests in 2019 in Lebanon. In 2019, massive anti-corruption protests started in Lebanon, and Nouh Zaiter, self-proclaimed Lebanese Robin Hood, was the first to support them. He released a video on a local news site calling on protesters in eastern Baalbek to demonstrate. He also asked everyone to bring a Lebanese flag with them, stating that every oppressed or deprived person should show up at the demonstrations. While he was addressing the public, he was wearing a hoodie, a chain around his neck, and a baseball cap backwards. The drug lord's appeal happened the same day. President Michel Aoun offered to meet the protesters in order to come up with a mutual agreement. Besides demanding an immediate stop to corruption, protesters also want to completely overthrow the political class. In downtown Beirut, where tens of thousands have gathered daily, a few graffiti texts emerged stating "Nouh Zaiter for president." Zaiter, on the other hand, didn't attend the protests, logically, because he was wanted for 4,000 charges at the time, so he had to stay under the radar. In February 2019, police managed to seize as many as 20 truckloads of Zaiter's hashish from a farm in Bekaa. Reportedly, 40,000 pounds or 20 tons of hashish was seized that day by the Lebanese security forces. The most intriguing part of this is that Nouh Zaiter casually gave an interview to the media despite being wanted for numerous charges by his country and by Interpol as well. And that wasn't the only time. Zaiter is known for giving lengthy TV interviews where he would often joke around but also threaten people. Nouh Zaiter's son's arrest. In 2022, a unit of the Lebanese Army Intelligence managed to arrest the son of drug dealer Nouh Zaiter while he was working in one of the Keserwan areas. The Lebanese Army raided his hideout and he was taken to a police station under the supervision of the pertinent judiciary. There is some speculation that Nouh Zaiter was in Syria at that time and that he tried to communicate with people close to his son in order to resolve the issue, but they'd already been arrested. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and comment on this video. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like what we're doing and want us to continue with more cool content.